Hey guys, this is Trisha Shortino, the CEO of Belay.
And hey, I am Lisa Zeveld, the COO of Belay.
So LZ and I are going to talk a little bit today about what it looks like to lead performance management in a remote organization. We have been remote for the last 9 years, and we've learned along the way that there are certain touch points that make it really easy and helpful to lead a remote team when it comes to things like performance management, culture check-ins, metrics, reviews, all of those things. So we want to spend some time talking a little bit about what we do at Belay and hope that it offers great value to you guys out there. We find it so important because we really want our team to be connected to the company's mission, vision, values, and we wanted to find ways with which we can check in with our team members to make sure they had what they need to be successful, that we were providing them the coaching and training they needed, and that they were meeting expectations. So we'll get started today talking a little bit, first and foremost, about laying the groundwork and setting the expectation. So LZ, I'd love you to share what it is we do as Belay to start our year and set expectations.
Yeah, it's funny. We have so many of our clients who come to us and they're really looking for some sort of playbook, right? They want to know, like, how do I run a successful business? And now more than ever, how do I run it in a remote environment? It always starts with us first and foremost as we take a look at our revenue and our financial projections. It's really hard to set any type of metrics or KPIs if you don't know what your end goal is. Here at Belay, we have a traditional fiscal year, so that runs January through December. So we as a leadership team start preparing our revenue projections and our expenses in Q3 of the year before. So we're starting to dive in, like take a look at trends and all of those things to find annual projections. This is top line revenue, this is cost of goods, expenses, all of those things. And that is going to turn into the same data and the same metrics and KPIs for our solutions consultants, which is our sales team, as well as our CSCs, relationship, our account managers, and our talent acquisition team. So it stops at the very, very top, and that's as early as Q3. Then in Q4, we start to share that information with our team because you want to be prepared. You don't want to start the year already behind, and you want to build a lot of excitement around that. So setting up some good wins for the team on what it means to meet those.
Yeah, so great points. We want to hit the ground running January 1. So we set all of our organizational goals and metrics and each individual's goal and metric long before the year starts. So when we hit January 1, everyone is really clear on what the expectation is for Belay as a company. We have defined what our goals are for Belay, and we've also been able to spend the time working with each department manager on what the individual goals are for all the people that work inside Belay and how they contribute or align up to the overall Belay goals. So we do try and tie everyone's performance and expectation back to the overall Belay goal and mission and expectations for the year. So we're able to hit the ground running January 1 with everybody set and ready. So now we've laid the foundation of what is expected of everybody on our team for the year. And what we don't want to do is wait till the end of the year to let everybody know how we're doing. So we have great check-ins throughout the year. First and foremost, we can start by looking at quarterly. So each quarter, we have a formal, if you will, check-in with each individual on our team. Our human resources team does a great job at making sure that we are on track as an organization. They check in with each manager and department head to make sure they are set to have these conversations. And as an organization, every leader and manager is doing a formal quarterly check-in with each individual and pulling up all the data and information to go through, how are we tracking? How are you performing? Have you exceeded an expectation? Then let's celebrate. Have you missed one? And then why? What are the roadblocks that maybe you've encountered? What is hindering your ability to perform or meet these expectations? And then as leaders, how we can fill those gaps, whether it's great coaching, extra training, resource allocation. So as leaders, we're trying to find ways with which we can help our teams succeed when we have these quarterly check-ins, and then we make sure to document all those things so that everybody's clear We don't want to just have conversations that become he said, she said scenarios. We want to make sure everything's in writing and everybody can see and agree. This is where we're trending. This is where each individual is tracking. And then at a high level, everybody can see how we're performing at a quarterly basis as an organization. Mm-hmm. Then as we do all that, we get into the monthly, which maybe LZ, you could talk a little bit about teeing off quarterly, how we even break that down further.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like you said, if we just wait annually, it's too long. Well, there's also certain roles and certain metrics that if we just waited until quarterly to have those check-ins, the information would be too dry, too old. We really couldn't do anything about it. So the best way to affect those quarterly goals and those annual goals is to talk about them monthly. So most of our teams also have monthly goals to get them to those quarterly gates. And so we want to sit down and we want to talk to them a lot about that. This is also a good time to talk about employee engagement. We know that high performing teams are also those who are highly engaged. So this is another area that our HR team helps us with dramatically, is by saying, are your team members engaged? Are they responding to perhaps you have a message board or a chatter in your CRM, something like that. So we really do break it down to monthly and have monthly goals and monthly KPIs for the majority of our team, wanting to make sure that they're going to meet those quarterly and annual goals.
Right. And yes, and one of the things we believe in at Belay is that there be a lot of visibility. So even at those monthly touch points, our organization as a whole has access and visibility to see how we're tracking and trending. Right. So if it's a salesperson that has a certain quota they're driving to achieve, they can see it live time. So can their manager. So can Belay. So we really believe in visibility, that we're all in this together. We are one team, all marching towards one big vision and mission. So everybody having the access and visibility to see progress is important for us. And having those monthly conversations is important to us. We also do a monthly month in review, LZ and I, to our company. We used to do it via video messaging. Now we actually do it live, but we are pretty transparent about sharing how the organization is doing, what kind of month we had, any red flags, any celebrations. So we want everybody on the team to feel like they have the most accurate, updated information, and they're very clear on how we are doing as an organization, so they can align with that at our level. And then we get down to the weekly, the day-to-days and the weeks.
Yeah, so to your point, what we used to do is give those updates in a recorded call. You know, you and I, we used to take turns doing that. And what we found is we needed to over communicate. We talk a lot about that as an organization, as a remote organization, as you have to over communicate. And so having weekly all staff meetings where we can sit with our team over a teleconferencing tool and really sit with them and say, hey, these are the updates by department. We break it down, but also here's where we are metric wise. Like you said, nobody likes a surprise. And so we want our team to know whether it's time to celebrate because perhaps we're hitting all of our metrics and things are going really great. But it's also awesome to have a family conversation where you're kind of drilling that down and saying, hey, maybe we've got some teams that have missed the mark here. Everybody needs to know, because like you said, we're all in this together. One of the things that we do annually that I forgot to mention is we have an annual rally cry. And I think that's really fun to talk about because it does help teams kind of feel like we are all in this together, and they know that they have to do their part for the greater good of the entire company. So it's not just very self-serving, it's really about serving your team. So those weekly staff meetings are those opportunities for us to get together, kind of come around as a team would, good team meeting, rally everybody, speak the truth, and share where we're heading as an organization. We've gotten great feedback that everybody really loves the transparency. And it's surprising, a lot of leaders don't want to share news when it's not so great. They almost believe that their team members can't handle it, but really what their team members can't handle is being in the dark. So overshare.
Yeah, or be surprised, right? To think that things are going well, and it turns out maybe they're not as good as they think. So we do want to be as honest as we can. If if something has gone awry or there's a red flag or something we're focused on, we make sure that the team is aware of those things. So, and then with that, from the global weekly communication and monthly communication, we as leaders and as managers are making sure that in our one-on-one conversations, we are giving live time feedback all along the way. We don't want to wait and hold information to the end of the month or to the end of the quarter. If we recognize that something is slipping or somebody has not achieved a goal or is tracking to not achieve a metric, as managers, we believe in addressing things live time to help people improve and grow. So we don't hold back. We really believe in having a very live feedback loop. So when you do get to the end of the month or the end of the quarter, you're not having a conversation because honestly, you've been talking about it all along. It's very natural. So I think most people that work at Belay would say, we don't have to have conversation because we're always talking about it.
Sure,
so it's really out there. We don't hold feedback and say that we're just very open, transparent, and honest with our performance management and leading our team and just putting it out there when things are going great and when they're not.
Yeah, it just feels very organic to talk about. It doesn't have to become a thing just to have a conversation. And then you also find that your team members don't get nervous, right? I remember years ago, before all this really cool performance management stuff came out, you would go to your annual review and everybody got nervous and sweaty palms. Oh my gosh, what's going to come out of it? That doesn't happen here at Belay because it is real, in real time, and it's very organic and very natural. And what I think we find is that our team members crave it. I don't know about you, but I know for my team, I hear all the time, can you just give me some feedback? I want to know more. What else can I do better? Where am I exceeding? Where have I not met your expectations? They want it all the time because they become very used to it.
Yes, I was going to say that they actually start to enjoy receiving the feedback and start asking for it, which makes it easier as a leader when someone's asking you for feedback. To very naturally give it and have those conversations. It can become an addiction, right? And that's what we want to create, a culture with which people want to receive feedback. Palms are up and open, and they want to improve and be better employees. You start creating that culture, when you increase the frequency, when you talk about performance management. So at Belay, performance management and inspecting what we expect are not scary things that we don't make a thing out of. It's just part of our culture. It's part of what we do as an organization, because we know that high employee satisfaction and high employee engagement lead to great results, high achievers, great results. We have very low turnover with our team because we know that happy employees who produce great results make for great business.
Totally. Yes. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, well, on that note, we will wrap this edition up. It was great, Lisa, to see you and talk today about all things performance management Belay. We hope that you guys out there have been served a little bit by some of these tips and advice, and good luck in your remote performance management journey.